So I got another great question that I thought would be fun to do a video about. I was talking to someone on Instagram, and they were very interested in how I'm able to ask the cards different questions about mysteries, basically. And they said to me they have a mystery they've always wondered about, and they wanted to know if there really are aliens, if there really are extraterrestrials, if there really are other beings other than Earthlings anywhere in the universe or the multiverse or whatever you want to call it, you know. And I was like, okay. Now, remember, we always go into these kind of readings unbiased because we really don't know the truth. We all just know what we think is more likely, right? So I was like, all right, well, from an unbiased standpoint, I will do this particular, question because I'm very interested myself to see what the answer is. And we're about to find out. So let me do the introduction. My name is QueenAusetHeru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and pass it on to someone else who wants to know more about UFOs, aliens, and extraterrestrials. If you want to get a reading done for yourself, please email me or hit me up on social media. All of my personal information, as well as my Patreon and my Ask an Aquarius merchandise, my Amazon wish list, my Cashapp, my PayPal, and all that good stuff is underneath this video. So let's check it out. All right, my alien hunters, let's find out. So the first part here, let's turn the cards over. 2 and 3. Now this card here, right, this one here, this is the Father of Wands reversed, and I'm going to turn it into the upright so you can see the art, but remember that it came out reversed. The Father of Wands, for any of you out there who are readers, is the King of Wands. But of course, you know how certain decks like to call him the Father instead of the King. I prefer Father, actually. I don't mind any of the changes. As long as I can understand what role it fits, I'm cool. So number one, are there aliens? Yes. This right here is a straight up yes. That's one of my yes cards. I have 2 yes cards in the deck, and when I get this one is one of them. So yes, there are aliens, and they watch us, and you're getting ready to see some more about that. But yeah, they're still there, and they still are watching us. It says here, the Father of Wands reversed. This is us. So what happened is that they came to the planet, and we're getting ready to see a lot more about this explanation down here. But they came to the planet, and they created us. We are their offspring. They created us from animals that were currently on the planet and their own cosmic DNA. Okay? As you can see, life began in Africa. We all know that from science. So this is where it happened at, in Africa, and they created these beings. And because I used to wonder to myself, how would a baby grow to be an adult human? And a baby can't take care of itself. So the first human being had to be an adult. You see? Or a baby that some other being was taking care of. And this is that being. So they created us, incubated us, grew us to a certain size, a certain amount of us, and left. Like an Aquarius, ghosted, okay? So this is what this is saying. And the Father of Wands is reversed because they're not very pleased with what we're doing. They're not very pleased with how we don't take care of the animals, how we haven't taken very good of ourselves and the planet. They're not very pleased with our evolution. The Father of Wands indicates that they find us to be a little hot-headed, a little, irrational. They find us to be a little fucked up, quite frankly, and I have to agree with them. They expected a lot better from us, and I do too. I expect us to be a lot better. I expect me to be a lot better, all of us. And day after day, some of us work on it, some of us accomplish it, and some of us do not. And this is how they feel about us. So this card over here, the Empress. So this is they're basically giving us the energy that they are our mother and our father, our creator, basically. So when people say God is an alien, that's what they're talking about, because literally God is an alien. Like literally, you know. Our creator, we will say, is an alien based on these cards. So the cards are co-signing. The cards are co-signing. All right, so let's see what else they give us, because I got a lot more cards. I had to know more. I was like, look, tell me more. So this is the Four of Wands, and this is the Two of Wands. Now, these are very interesting. This one is telling us that we're family. The Four of Wands is about family, you know, and this is saying that we are family, and one day we will come back together and celebrate. Very interesting. So it looks like to me they're going to come here versus us going there, because you see what side of the moon this is on, what side of the sun this is on. This is getting ready to become really important. The sun is right here, so this side of the sun going this way is Earth. Going the other way, I never thought we could go that way. Think about it. Whenever you see the sun is right here, and all the planets are to the right. But this is saying right here, this is where we are. This is Earth. So they're going to come back to Earth, and they're going to be with us and celebrate one day. When will that day be? Probably when the sun dies, because that's the energy that we're getting here, is that the sun will eventually, you know, it expire eventually. We all know this from science class, right? So I'm thinking, based on this, when it expires, they're going to come back and get us, and so it's going to be a celebration. We're going to come back together and leave and leave and go with them. Now, the other interesting part, remember I said they watch us, right? This is them right here. We're in their image and likeness. They watch us. But bust it. This is the sun. This is us. So the sun and us go that way. They are to the left. Now remember, I just said in every science class I've ever been in, the sun was in the middle and everything was over here to the right. You never go to the left. I've never seen a map go to the left. I didn't even know you could go to the left. And apparently that's where they are. They're to the left. So whenever we're out exploring the solar system, we don't go in that direction because it's too hot going towards the sun. We always go this way. So we go from Earth, Mars, Uranus, Pluto. We go in that direction. This card is telling us that's why we haven't run into them, because they're not to that way, they're that way. We're going in the wrong direction. I didn't even know we could go in that direction. I didn't even know anything was over that part. And this is how most people, I don't know about the solar system. I just know what they taught me in science class, and I'm sure that was pretty limited. So the point of the matter is that what they're saying is they're watching us, and we haven't run into them. And we keep saying, how come we haven't seen them? How come we haven't found them? Because they're watching us. They're monitoring us. They're keeping an eye on us. You know, they're not really intervening. They're just kind of watching, you know, and if we do something crazy like explode the planet, I think they'll come, you know, they'll come help, hopefully. We don't know about that one. But the point of the matter is that they're watching. They are watching us, and they are right there. So I found that to be fascinating, because I never thought about that before. Now, I asked, were there any other races other than that one alien race that has created us? Let's call it the mother race. Other than the mother race, they told me there are 11 others in our immediate area. So these are ones that could actually reach us, or we could reach them. So altogether there's 12 different alien races. Well, I don't even know if we can call them alien, because they're not even alien, they're our parents. So but there's 12 different other groups, put it like that. And it depends on where you're looking at, because look at this right here. This is giving us that vibration. Remember I talked about the different dimensions and the multiverses? They're letting me know there's parallel dimensions. There's all kind of stuff going on out there, and some of these beings are not human. There are all kind of things out there. There's at least 12 of them that could reach us, or we could reach them. That means there are probably more beyond that. So I was like, wow, when I did this reading, I was totally blown away. So then I wanted to know why. Why did they do this? Now, this card here came up in the reverse. This card right here came in the reverse, and the last one came in the reverse. So this tells us that the reason why they did this was because there was a problem where they were. In their planet, they started to have a fertility problem. That's what all of this was about. They had hard times reproducing themselves. Now, if you pay attention, this is going on the earth right now too. More and more women are needing fertility treatments to get pregnant. This is the same thing that happened to them, but it got to a critical point where they were not reproducing. So they left, they went off on a quest to find a place where they could do so. And that's how they ended up here. They came to us. So they came to us. Remember, I talked about the animals. They took some animal DNA. They mixed it up with theirs, incubated us, raised us up to a certain place, and then, set us free. Basically, you know how you raise animals in captivity and then set them free? I don't think you're supposed to do that, though. But in our case, that's basically what happened. And we continue to multiply and to populate the planet. So it was all because they couldn't reproduce themselves. So they had to find a clever way. This represents a phallus symbol. So when the old-fashioned way wasn't working, they had to go towards medicine. The same thing we do. When the old-fashioned way doesn't work, we go to fertility drugs. So this is what they were doing. So I assume they probably went the fertility drugs first, and maybe it wasn't working anymore. We don't see that here. All we see is that this was what they did. This is what it came to. And they have really allowed us. It's interesting because they are our parents, but they really, and they do watch, but they really don't intervene like that. It's really interesting to me. They do watch, or they monitor things like that, and that's all because they're watching how we evolve. We're kind of like a big science experiment to them. Imagine like an experiment at like some kind of lab. That's basically what we are to them. So they do experiment, they do watch us and things along those lines. So that is very true, but they don't really intervene, unless something major goes on. The father of swords is reversed, so that's somebody who doesn't really give you their wisdom. They kind of just stand back and it's like, let you be. It's kind of like if you watch Star Trek Next Generation, the prime directive was not to intervene with the planet and how the species was naturally evolving. That's what this species is doing with us. It's allowing us to naturally evolve and not making us evolve in one way or another. And the only time they really step in is when they're either looking at us experimenting or whatever the case is, but they really don't stop world affairs or things like that. And we probably won't see them again until it's all over. They'll see us though. That's the interesting part about it. Now, the last three cards here I found to be very interesting. Because when things do end here, whenever that may be, let me pull this up. Whenever that may be, okay, we're going to be initiated. Those of us that are left over, those of us who survive, are going to be taken and initiated back into the dominant race, back to our home planet, back to our home family. Now, mind you, I'm not saying this is going to happen in 2 weeks, because if you think about it, you could probably go online and Google when the sun is going to die out. 9 times out of 10, we might have about, maybe, I'm going to just give a ballpark figure, 20,000 years. Let's just give an easy ballpark figure. Those of us who are left behind, or those of us who make it, I should say, are going to be initiated back with them. They're going to take us with them. Remember I said they were going to come here? Well, they're going to come here. There's going to be a celebration. There's going to be rejoicing. And we're going back to where they are. And we're going to populate, because that is going to be, remember I said all of this was for procreation. They could not, they could not have any more children. But we were too primitive to go with them to where they are. We were way too primitive. So they had to leave us here to evolve for a couple billion years before we would be on their level. So that's what's going on. Interestingly enough, I was not expecting that card. Dawn of a new way of being. This is going to be a brand new way. These beings are going to be nothing like us. It's going to be a whole new way of being. I mean, talk about utopia. Dawn of a new way of being. People are going to be treating each other better. It's going to be unrecognizable. And then it has breakthrough resistance. There's not going to be any resistance to each other at that time. So people are going to be cooperating, which does my heart good. They're going to be cooperating with each other, and they're going to be living in a different kind of way. It's going to be a whole nother place. It's going to be totally different. I can't even imagine it, and you probably can't either, because it's like nothing we've ever seen before. I think Star Trek is probably the closest that I can even think to this type of a dawn. It's going to be totally new, and a new way of being. So it's amazing to me, and it's not going to be negative at all, but it is going to be different, and it's going to be a long time from now. So those of us that are here right now, let's just chill, because it'd be our offsprings. I mean, it'd be like way down the line before this will occur, and we won't be physically alive to see it, but hopefully we'll be there in spirit form. So thank you all for the question, and thank you for joining me today. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think about aliens, and are you ready to be initiated into the alien coalition? Let me know, and come back soon, because I got a lot more to say. See you later.